The Dallas Cowboys have always carried a reputations for glitz, glory, and larger than life headlines, and once again they found a way to send shockwaves through the football world. The Cowboys defense, which had been reeling and searching for an identity after weeks of disappointment, just found its missing piece, the kind of force that can change games from the inside out. Quinnon Williams, one of the most dominant defensive tackles in the NFL, is officially a Dallas Cowboy. And his arrival signals something powerful. The Cowboys defense just got mean again. This isn't just another roster move. This is a cultural shift. This is Dallas saying, we're tired of being pushed around. It's the kind of move that speaks to desperation mixed with ambition. A franchise that refuses to fade quietly even after a rough stretch. The Cowboys front office knew that if their defense didn't toughen up soon, the season might slip away. They were ranked near the bottom in run defense, allowing opposing offenses to run straight up the gut with ease, and their inability to control the interior line had forced their linebackers and secondary to constantly play on their heels. Opponents were dictating games instead of being dictated to. That had to change, and Quinnon Williams was the answer to that problem. Williams, standing at 6'3" and weighing over 300 pounds of pure muscle, brings something the Cowboys have sorely lacked: interior dominance. He's not just a space eater, he's a disruptor, the kind of defensive tackle who can explode off the line, shed double teams, and blow up plays before they develop. Since entering the league, Williams has been a nightmare for offensive coordinators, a constant source of pressure up the middle, and a major reason why running against him feels like running into a brick wall. In New York, he established himself as one of the premier interior defenders in football, earning multiple Pro Bowl nods and an All-Pro selection. His strength, quickness, and leverage make him nearly impossible to block one-on-one. Now, that power and precision are coming to Dallas, and the rest of the NFC should take notice. When you think about what this means for the Cowboys' front seven, it's hard not to get excited. Before this move, Dallas relied heavily on their edge rushers to generate pressure. They had talent on the edges, but offenses quickly adapted by sliding protection outside and doubling the Cowboys' best pass rushers. The interior push wasn't there, which meant quarterbacks could step up comfortably in the pocket, neutralizing the edge rush. Quinnon Williams changes that equation completely. With him clogging the middle, offensive lines can no longer cheat outward. His presence alone forces them to respect the inside rush, which opens up the edges for Dallas's pass rushers to feast. Suddenly, the Cowboys' defense looks balanced, dangerous, and unpredictable again. But Williams doesn't just bring physical tools, he brings an attitude. Watch him play, and you can see the fire in his eyes on every snap. He attacks with relentless energy, rarely taking a play off. He's the kind of player who sets the tone for everyone around him, demanding excellence and intensity. That's something the Cowboys desperately need right now. Too often this season, their defense has looked flat, missing that spark that it turns a talented group into a fearsome one. Williams is a natural tone setter. When he dominates the trenches, his energy radiates through the rest of the defense. His teammates will feel it, feed off it, and follow his lead. From a schematic standpoint, his fit in Dallas makes perfect sense. The Cowboys run a base 4-3 alignment, which gives their tackles plenty of chances to attack gaps and create pressure. Williams thrives in this kind of system. He's quick enough to shoot through gaps on stunts and twists, but strong enough to hold his ground when asked to two-gap against the run. The Cowboys can use him in multiple roles, lining up as a traditional 3 technique on passing downs, collapsing the pocket, or playing the 1 technique on early downs, eating up blockers and allowing the linebackers to flow freely. His versatility will give defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus new ways to disguise looks and create mismatches up front. It also means the Cowboys can rotate their other interior linemen, guys like Osa Odigizua and Kenny Clark, more strategically, keeping everyone fresh and explosive late in games. There's also an important domino effect that comes with this kind of acquisition. When a defense adds a dominant interior lineman, it often changes the entire dynamic of the unit. Suddenly, the linebackers look faster because they're not fighting through as many blocks. The secondary looks sharper because quarterbacks have less time to throw. The edge rushers look more effective because the pocket collapses from the inside. One player can make everyone better, and Quinnon Williams is exactly that kind of player. His presence in Dallas might be the difference between a struggling defense and one that actually wins games. Of course, this move didn't come cheap. The Cowboys had to give up valuable draft capital and a young defensive tackle to make the deal happen. It's the kind of trade that sparks debates across fan bases and talk shows. Was it too risky? Or was it exactly what Dallas needed? Some critics will argue that the Cowboys are mortgaging their future, but let's be honest, this is a franchise built on taking big swings. Jerry Jones has never been shy about going all in when he believes the team is close to contending, and after watching this defense get bullied week after week, it's clear the Cowboys needed to do something drastic. Williams isn't just a short-term rental either. He's under contract for several years, which means this move isn't about panic. It's about building a foundation. If Williams can stay healthy and play to his usual standard, the Cowboys might finally have the kind of defense that can complement their offense. Imagine what this does for the locker room morale, too. Every player in that building knows that when management goes out and acquires someone like Quinnon Williams, it's a message. It says, we still believe in this team. We're not done fighting. That kind of confidence boost can't be overstated. Teams that feel supported from the top down often play with renewed purpose. And you can bet the Cowboys defenders are going to be fired up seeing number 95 lining up next to them. Fans in Dallas have been craving this kind of physical presence for years. The Cowboys have had flashy offenses and high-scoring games, but when was the last time they had a defensive tackle who truly scared opponents? Like someone who could take over game from the interior and dictate how offenses call plays. Quinnon Williams is that guy. He's the kind of player who can turn third and short into fourth down, who can stuff a running back for a loss on a crucial drive, who can sack a quarterback and change momentum in an instant. He gives Dallas something they haven't had since the days of dominant interior linemen like Leon Lett or Leroy Glover, a true anchor in the middle. In many ways, Quinnon Williams embodies what the Cowboys want to be: tough, resilient, and unapologetically confident. His arrival could mark the beginning of a new defensive identity, one built on dominance rather than flash, on substance rather than style. Imagine the statement Dallas could make if their defense starts shutting teams down again, if they start winning games in the trenches instead of relying solely on offensive fireworks. That's the kind of transformation that changes the trajectory of a season. So yes, this trade is risky, it's bold, it's expensive, but it's also necessary. The Cowboys couldn't afford to sit back and hope things magically improved. They needed a spark, and now they've got one in Quinnon Williams. Whether you love or hate the Cowboys, you have to respect the move. They saw a weakness, they addressed it decisively, and they brought in a player capable of changing everything. That's what championship caliber teams do. They make moves with conviction. As the season continues, all eyes will be on Dallas to see how this gamble plays out. Will Williams transform their defense into a feared unit once again? Will he help them claw their way back into playoff contention? Or will this be another case of a big-name move that didn't translate to wins? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: the Cowboys aren't going quietly. They've reloaded, refocused, and reignited the fight. And with Quinnon Williams now wearing that star on his helmet, the Cowboys defense just became a whole lot meaner. So buckle up, Cowboys Nation. The storm is coming, and it's wearing number 95.